Peace, love, and prosperity. Welcome, welcome, welcome to another week of What's Your Story, where we share, empower, heal, and inspire. My name is Shanrika. I am your host for What's Your Story. We come to you every Wednesday at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. So whether you're watching this on Facebook or you're going to catch it on YouTube, welcome, welcome, welcome. Thank you so much for taking the time out to kick it with us and hopefully learn something new and be able to use this resource that I'm about to bring to you because it she is a great resource, and as always, you know um oh, I just lost my train of thought. How about that? But as always, we welcome you, we thank you. Hit the like, hit the share, hit the comment, hit make some comments rather. Subscribe, all of that great stuff. Show some love to the Say Something Facebook page. Show some love to my guest. There is her contact information scrolling at the bottom, so be sure to follow her, like her page, check her out because she has great information. But today is March 23rd, right? So this year is like flying by, right? Um, I want to give a shout out. Well, I want to give a shout out to everyone who is having a birthday today or everyone who was born today. But I want to give a special shout out to my little sister, Tika. So happy birthday. She is my first child slash little sister. So happy birthday to you. I love you. I hope you have the greatest day ever. Also want to give a shout out to Chi Smith and the Inner Cheese Show. She invited me on her show last week, and I'm so grateful for her. So if you did not catch it, go catch it on the page, Inner Cheese Show. Also, be sure to follow her because she's a great person and she has great content. Um, and she's in the healing and helping people get their mind, you know, body, all that good stuff right. But sponsors for What's Your Story is let me go back to this. Today is March 23rd, right? So the deadline for taxes is April 18th. So if you have not got your taxes done, what are you waiting on? But not just that, check out Stephanie at Carolina's Best Financial LLC. She does do free estimates. So, she'll give you a free estimate. If you like what she's doing, then hey, file your taxes with her. But you can reach out to her on Facebook at Carolina's Best Financial. And you can also email her at stephanie.carolinasbest@gmail.com. Also, we're going to be talking about money today, right? So if you're learning about money, hopefully you are teaching the babies about money as well. But if you're not, I got something for you. Kids love money, they just don't understand it. It is an interactive workbook series that teaches children financial literacy one concept at a time. I don't know if you saw the post I made, but my grandson he's in second grade. He's doing that's what they're teaching, about money, economics, things of that nature. But he is doing very well because his grandma wrote a book called Kids Love Money, They Just Don't Understand It. And his grandma is teaching him about money and the different, aspects of money and things of that nature. Why? Because I will not allow my grandson or my grandchildren, because I have to go through what I went through. Why would I? When I know better, right? So if I know better, I can teach them so that way they'll be able to do better. So check out Kids Love Money book series at kidslovemoney.shop. Also, sponsor is Say Something, which is an online apparel store where you can find the exclusive brand Gugoji. So make sure you get out and get it at saysomething.company.site. And last but not least, um, every day we have a ritual, something that we do, a routine, I will say, for people who don't like the word ritual. But every day we have a routine. So why not include motivation into that routine? It only makes sense. So if you're going to drink a cup of coffee or cup of tea or a cup of whatever you're drinking in the mornings, make sure you go check out sipsomething.company.site and go grab you a favorite mug, or they also do custom mugs. So inquire and see if what you're looking for is possible. But again, that's at sipsomething.company.site. And thank you, thank you, thank you again for joining us, whether you're catching it live or on the replay. You are greatly valued. But again, I have another awesome guest who's coming to bless you all with their gifts and talents and knowledge. So stay tuned and we'll be right back with you. Welcome back, welcome back, welcome back. And thank you all for joining us. Hey, cousin. Florence, South Carolina's in here. Hey, guys, let me know where you're tuning in from, what part of the world, because, hey, we're trying to reach as many people as possible. And that's the whole point of What's Your Story. We want to share, we want to empower, we want to heal and inspire because we can all win, right? So thank you all for joining us. But without further ado, I'm going to bring on my beautiful guest so she can bless you all and tell you about the wonderful things that she is doing. So we're about to get into this money mindset and manifestation. Awesome day to you, beautiful. How are you?
Good, good, good. So happy to be here. I'm excited for
Thank
this conversation.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm glad you had the time to
Yeah.
come on. I know you're very busy. You got a lot, that you do, a lot that you give to people. So I thank you so much for, being able to bless us with your time. But just to kind of give you an idea or kind of let you know what your story is. I don't know, you may not be old enough, but back in the day, there was a saying that was, what's your story?
Mm.
And the gist of it was for people to tell you about themselves and to tell you enough so that way you were like, okay, well, let me know more. So that's basically, what we do at What's Your Story. We just, give you the floor to tell the people about, all the great things that you're doing. Um, and then, that way they can tap into, you as a resource and take advantage of what you have to offer. So I'm going to give you the floor now so you can just let the people know what's your story.
What's my story? Okay, well, my story. Wow. I would say that the beginning of my, I guess, money story was I grew up pretty, pretty middle class. I didn't grow up wanting for much.
Mhm,
And um, I it's interesting because then I decided I was pretty good with numbers and math, and so I was like, okay, I think I'm going to go into something with math or numbers,
mhm,
and I ended up deciding to go into accounting because I played with bookkeeping a little bit in high school,
mhm,
so I went into accounting and I did that, and so got through college, ended up getting a pretty good job out of school. I worked
mhm.
for the public company. It was Big Six when I graduated. Now it's Big Four. So I got a good job at KPMG working as an auditor. Um, and it's interesting. I bought my first car and I had this corporate job, but I was struggling financially.
Mm,
And there was a lot of, because I think that people, especially women, when it comes to their finances, there's this sense of maybe a little bit of embarrassment or a little bit of shame around, well, I don't know, or I'm not sure, maybe I'm not
mhm.
good with finances, money. But for me, it felt double because I was an accounting major, right?
Right. You was dealing with the people money.
Yeah, I was supposed to know, like, I was supposed to know about these things. And
Mhm,
while was good at financial analysis of companies, when it came to my own personal finances, it was a hot mess. And and so, there was shame around that. But then what I came to learn about money, so fast forward, right, there was that. And then I ended up, so there's a lot that happened in between that and
Mhm.
starting my own business. But the bottom line was I was miserable in corporate America and I wanted out. And
Mhm.
so I ended up leaving corporate. I ended up moving to California. I became a singer songwriter. I started doing acting. Like I wanted the farthest thing away from accounting and corporate that I could possibly get.
Mhm.
But all the while, still, I was struggling financially. Okay.
Okay.
So, all right. So there's this consistent theme. And then finally I said, you know what? I don't want to be, I was 30. I was like, I don't want to be 40 years old waiting tables trying to make it. Like, I don't see myself doing that.
Mhm.
So I left California. I moved back. I, with, my tail between my legs, felt like a failure. I had to move back in with my parents. And that was when I started to say, okay, what do I need to do? What do
Mhm.
I need to figure out to be able to do something differently so I can support myself, so I can do that consistently?
Mhm.
How am I going to do this? This was right around the time, so maybe dating myself also a little bit, but this was right around, like right before The Secret hit, right?
Mhm.
I mean, it's total. So it's like The Secret. Everybody knows The Secret, Law of Attraction, Oprah. It's mainstream now.
Right.
Back then, before that, when you were talking about Law of Attraction and you were talking about Abraham Hicks, people thought you were a little crazy. Like a little boogie. Like, Abraham Hicks. Who was this woman? What is she doing? What is she? You know.
Yes.
I was listening on a cassette tape. I was listening to cassette tapes of Abraham Hicks, and it resonated with me, and I was like, oh, and I just kept listening over and over again. But I still didn't take the leap to fully 100% apply it to my life.
Mhm.
But when I got back when I got back home and I said, okay, I've got to figure something out, I said, listen, give your all to this process. Give your all to what they're saying. Dive 100% in. If you're wrong, and you'll know. And you'll know that you need to find something else.
Right.
Let's just see what happens. And again, right around this time too, I also felt more emboldened to give 100% to it, because that was right when The Secret and Oprah had all the people from The Secret on, and I was like, oh, okay, yes, yes, yes. So that helped too.
Yeah.
Um, so I did. I applied Law of Attraction to specifically to my finances.
Mhm.
Applied it to my finances. And I affirmed for myself what I wanted and what I wanted to see, assuming that
Mhm.
I had been successful, right? So it's like,
Right.
what would I need to say based off of what I want to have? So I'd say it took me about 6 months, 6 months. And in that time too, I should say, I came back home. I was working a corporate job, again, miserable. And I said, I cannot go back there. I was working the job of three people, right?
Mhm.
And I said, you know what? If I'm going to work the job of three people, I might as well work that hard for myself,
Yeah.
right? And so I might as well work for myself. And so I gave my leave of absence. I gave my resignation letter,
Mhm.
and then 6 months later, I had built up a accounting business. I built it up to, at that time I was making about $7,000 a month in the business after 6 months, and I was doing it on part-time hours, and it felt like $7 million a month.
Wow.
Because it was like, oh my gosh, I have replaced, more than replaced, my corporate salary. I was making, to be very transparent, I was making $65,000 in that corporate job when I came, which isn't bad money,
Mhm.
But 6 months later, I was making more than
More
that,
than that.
or,
Yeah.
on part-time hours. It was my business and I was happier.
Mm-hmm.
So, and this is from really making the decision that I was going to give my all to the processes, or what they call the law of attraction processes. And ever since then, I have been an avid, I guess you could say, student of that work, of um, taking responsibility for what's happening in my life, good and bad, right?
Right.
Um, Having a better understanding and relationship uh, with myself, and the power that I have, that we all have
Mm-hmm.
within us. That's available to us,
Yeah.
um, and building up that muscle. The muscle of belief, and having to have the faith. Because before I didn't know if it would work.
Mm-hmm.
So there was a certain level of faith that I had to have. It doesn't require much faith for me now because I know, right? But there's a process that you have to go under. But um, so it taught me a lot about not only money, but the power that I had within myself to create what I wanted once I made the decision that that's what I was going to do. Um,
Right.
so it
So it
started,
starts in the
yeah,
mind.
oh, definitely, yes, it starts in the mind, and it starts in a decision that you
Mm-hmm.
make, right?
Mm-hmm.
Um, a decision that you make within your mind, that no matter what, you're not going to allow anything, anyone, any excuse, any idea to get in your way of having what you want.
Yeah.
Um, and mountains move after that.
Wow.
Um, literal mountains move after that. So um, it started with that. It started with bookkeeping business 15, 16 years ago now. Can't believe it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um,
Time goes by so fast, though. I mean, it's just like it seems
it,
like yesterday, and then all of a sudden 10 years or 20 years have passed, right?
seriously. Yeah.
It has. And I liked accounting. I loved accounting, but I lost. I guess I lost some passion for it when everything went to computers. So I'm
Oh,
kind
yeah.
of
Yeah.
over seasoned, I would say. I'm a little seasoned. But
Yes.
yeah, I love that ledger. I love that, making sure the numbers added up. That was just,
Yeah.
I could do
Right.
that for hours. Like they say,
Yeah. Yeah.
hours and hours and hours. Like that was my thing. But then when it went to computers, I was just like, oh, they took all of the what I loved about it. They took it out. Yeah, it was quicker for me to do on the computer, but it was still like, they took my joy away from it. So I was like, nah, I don't want to do that. That was a joy for me. But yeah, but that's awesome. So you offer accounting services. Um, that's
Yeah.
your business. But
Yeah.
how did you, I mean, I know you service anyone, right? So you don't have to be a woman, you don't have to be or an entrepreneur even, do you?
Well, entrepreneurs for sure.
Okay.
Entrepreneurs for
So it's
sure.
definitely
Yeah.
entrepreneurs.
I primarily do work with women entrepreneurs, but I have men clients, sure. But yeah, entrepreneurs specifically, because if we kind of move a little bit farther along on my story,
Mm-hmm.
with my story, um, there was my mom transitioned about 3.5 years ago now,
Oh,
and her transitioning was it was intensely painful,
mm-hmm.
but it was a huge wake up call to me of how I really wanted to show up in the world, the legacy that I wanted to leave my daughter,
Mm-hmm.
and how I was really going to spend the rest of my time, however long that was going to be here.
Right.
And soon after that, it became very clear. Really, it was almost like a download that, hey, you're here to close the wealth gap for women. That's why you're here.
Mm.
And as soon as that happened, every everything that I had been kind of struggling with in terms of professionally with my businesses, because I had two businesses. I had an accounting business,
Mm-hmm.
and then I started a money mindset business
Mm-hmm.
in 2015. And I was treating them very differently. I was treating them separately, right? And then after this realization, it was like, oh, they're not separate. They don't have to be separate. They,
Right.
they serve one another.
Mm-hmm.
And it took me a while to really realize
Connect.
that. Yeah, and to make that connection within myself, really. And so then as a result of that realization, it was like, okay, you're here to close the wealth gap for women. And so um, everything since then has been of service to that. So yes, we have bookkeeping services, accounting services. Why? Because bookkeeping is your first line of defense against overpaying in taxes,
Oh yeah.
right? Why? It's just what it is. See it all the time.
Yeah.
Um, and and then why don't there's for obvious reasons we don't want to overpay in taxes, but also very practically speaking, as business owners,
Mm-hmm.
you're, especially if you're a service-based business, a bit different, with product-based businesses, but service-based businesses, your second highest expense in your business is going to be taxes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. So you could have a very profitable year, go through the year feeling like you're doing great, and it can all be taken away if you have bad bookkeeping and you get a tax bill at the end of the year that you're
Oh
not
yeah.
sure how you can pay. Right.
Right.
So bookkeeping and taxes are so important. So I have a team of people that help with that. We help with the bookkeeping, um, partnered with a CPA who is brilliant at doing tax returns.
Mm-hmm.
I really like helping people with tax strategies, so more of the high-end tax strategies
Mm-hmm.
that we can get into if you wanted to, but things that I didn't know, but that I had to start learning and teaching myself in order to preserve wealth,
Right.
right? In order to, because I want to walk my talk, in order
Mm-hmm.
to preserve wealth so that I'm leaving a legacy for my daughter, um, where she doesn't have to struggle with or worry about money. There's other
Right.
things that as human beings here, there we have lives, there are challenges, right? But
Right.
I want one of those challenges for my daughter not to be money, right? So, because it doesn't have to be. It can be other
Exactly.
things that you're challenged by that cause a human being to grow, besides staying in that, as they say, in that root chakra
Mm-hmm.
of how am I going to survive? How am I going to live? And that keeps you on a certain level, conscious wise and
Mm-hmm.
vibrationally. If in the back of your mind, there's a constant worry about how am I going to survive? How am I going to pay these bills, right?
Right.
And that I don't want for my daughter, right?
Mm-hmm.
And that I imagine many people don't want for their children,
Oh yeah.
um, right? Um, so yeah, so everything began to fuel this, okay, wealth preservation, and then I began to look at businesses not just as this thing that's going to help me generate cash flow, which is
Mm-hmm.
great, but also how can the business be a tool for personal wealth,
Yes.
right? How can that become not just a cash flow generator, but
Mm-hmm.
how can that become an asset on my portfolio that can potentially be something that an investor looks at, that maybe want to be bought or acquired. I'm not saying that that's everybody's goal. It doesn't have to be, but
Right.
it's nice to have options. That's the other thing that money and that wealth gives you, right?
Exactly. And I speak about that, about how a lot of times people are stuck in situations because
Yeah.
of their financial situation.
Yes. Yes.
So,
Yes. Yes. And we see tragically that a lot of times those situations can be abusive, right?
mhm,
So yeah,
yeah.
it's
So
it's
money
it's
gives
so important.
options.
Money gives options.
And it's
Yes,
not the money that you want, it's what the money allows you to
that's
um,
right.
the end goal,
Yeah, that's right.
whether it's donating, whether it's leaving a legacy, whatever that may be, is
That's
the
right.
freedom for me. But
That's it. It's the intangibles that we really want. It's what we
yes,
can't see, but is so present that we really want. It's not a little piece of paper with 100 bill, with 100 written on it,
right,
the president's face on it. We don't care about that. We care about the freedom it gives us. The again, the options it gives us, the sovereignty it gives us.
absolutely,
Um, the joy that we and the support that we feel it gives, again, our children, our grandchildren, right?
yeah,
That's what we want.
yeah, absolutely. So
Yeah.
you have a group that people can
Oh,
take,
yeah.
part of. You also have a school.
Mhm.
So, tell us
Yeah.
a little about that. And then we're going to go back to, the higher end tax strategies. You could drop a couple
Okay.
of them for the
Okay.
people just so they can, be
Yes.
thinking about it if they haven't thought about it already.
Yeah. Yeah. There's some good ones. Yes. So I have a group. It's called Money Club for Women, on Facebook. So I tend to go live in there a lot, and post some helpful information for folks on
Mhm.
their money manifestation, cash increase, wealth increase journey. Yes, I have a school. It's called Abundant School for Generational Wealth. And there are programs in that school. There is a program, which is really my flagship program, How to Make Money Fall in Love with Your Bank Account.
Mhm.
It's like that program. It's like, so it's near and dear to my heart. It's like my little baby because it's like the little engine that could. I am, well, a little, not too embarrassed to say it, but a little embarrassed to say that program started out originally. I was online. I was like, okay, I'm gonna put some value out there, and I'm gonna use it as the beginning of my funnel. The online speak.
Yes.
And the advice was create something that you can give nice value and charge $7 for it. So the program was originally $7, and
But actually, I believe in your group because I did, and I didn't complete the whole thing. I didn't.
that's a
I didn't. But it's been a couple of years ago. You had it in a group as a challenge
yes,
initially.
yep,
It was
yep,
like a 5 day challenge, I think it
yep.
was, or
It was a
something of that
5 day
nature.
challenge. That's
So,
right.
I mean, it started out good for me. And then
Yeah,
I got sidetracked. So I didn't never get to the 5 days, which
it's all right.
don't seem like a lot, but I didn't make it to the end. But anyway,
It's all right. We could always get back on track. It's all
I can
good.
always start over.
Yes. But yeah, and then as people, thank you for allowing me time to talk about it because I'm so proud of it. But I issued a challenge to people and I said, hey guys, I will give you this program if you give your 100% all to this program. If you promise me that you will give your all for
Hmm.
60 days to this program, I will give it to you for free. And what came back was phenomenal. That one guy manifested $111,000 in cash and value, 60 days. One woman ended up being a health coach. She ended up being featured on People magazine.
Mm,
Another woman packed up and had a hair business in Atlanta and moved it to Dubai. Found the love of her life. I mean,
wow.
all of these things happen
Hmm.
when you decide that you're going to give your all to tools that work for you and that help you tap into your inherent power to have what you want. So anyway, the program is not free or $7 anymore, but
Right.
but
But it is available.
but it is available. And if you give your all to the program, 60 days, you will have a 5 to 6 figure abundance breakthrough. Okay. And still people are in the program continuing to hear the wonderful testimonials today.
Hmm.
The next step program in there is Abundance Accelerator. So that's where, your focus isn't so much on how do I get my finances going. You have a business established, you're making money, and now you want to know more about making sure that your money is going where it needs to be, what needs to
Hmm.
go to profit. Are you paying yourself consistently? Ladies, we tend to not pay ourselves in our own businesses. Okay.
Yes.
Are you paying yourself? Are you putting money aside for taxes? And then you know what you have available for operating expenses. And of course, we talk about tax strategies. So it's kind of a next level conversation for an entrepreneur when it comes to their finances. And then also within Abundance School, we have a group coaching program called Sisters in Circulation, because I talk about circulating money, not spending it.
Not spending it,
Right. And so that's really a group support. So if you're in any of the programs in Abundance School, we meet twice a month, and I take any questions. We do some fun meditations and things in there. Mostly we laugh a lot, and we just have fun having conversations about money manifestation, entrepreneurship, and building wealth.
Absolutely. So her website is scrolling at the bottom, SimoneCraig.com. So be sure to check it out. Check out the website and check out everything that she offers. So do you have anything that's coming up, or?
So I'd say the main thing that I'm focusing on right now is talking about that, how to make money fall in love with your bank account program. I'm going to be doing some workshops coming up, some workshops to share more about my specific law of attraction processes, and then also really just getting the word out about how to make money fall in love with your bank account. It's a beast of a program.
Yeah. Because I mean, the days that I did do, I mean, not saying I was making progress, I will say that, but life happens and you have the choice whether you're going to let it distract you or you're going to, keep going and kind of push those distractions away. So, I got caught up in the distraction. I was good. But so I know it's a great program.
Thanks.
Also, tax strategies for tax strategies for people that they may have or may not have thought about before or even heard of.
Yeah, well, so two of my favorites are first, Augusta strategy. So Augusta strategy, it's so cool. It's basically a legal loophole. Okay. And also I want to say, just because your accountant has never heard of it doesn't mean it's not legitimate. Okay. So maybe find an accountant who is willing to be wrong and look it up themselves, or find someone who knows these strategies. Our team does. But the Augusta loophole basically says that if you own your home, okay, or if you own a property somewhere, you can, as a business owner, okay, so if you have an LLC, your LLC can rent your home, okay, for business meetings. I think you've heard of this, Shamrika. So yes, you can. It's brilliant. So and that also I want to say too is that the thing about money is like it's a game. Right? Money, business credit, wealth, credit score overall, it's a game.
Right. And you just have to kind of stay in the parameters of the game or try,
You have to know, you got to know the rules of the game. You got to know the timing of the game. And sometimes if you're lucky enough, you learn these little back strategies to get you there quicker that are called legal loopholes. Okay. So it's a game. And that's why I make sure in my work with people, in my teaching with people, we have fun and we laugh at the game. You see what I'm saying? Because if you're laughing at the game, okay, you're in control of it.
Absolutely.
Okay. So anyway, legal loophole, Augusta strategy, own a home. Okay. You have an LLC or an S Corp or C Corp. Okay. You have a business. All right. So the idea is, let's say in your business, you decided to have a business meeting. It could be with a business partner. It could be with a virtual assistant. You decide to have an internal business meeting. So if you were having an internal business meeting, maybe you decided that you were going to have a half day or a full day meeting somewhere out in the community, like a hotel or something like that.
Right.
The idea is, instead of paying that money to the hotel or wherever you would have the meeting, you can pay it to yourself as the homeowner of the home.
Right.
So you can go and you say, okay, how much would a half day meeting where my home is? How much would a half day meeting cost? Okay, $750. Cool. I'm going to, as the business owner, write
Mhm.
a $750 check to myself personally because I own this home. You can
Yes.
do that up to 14 days in one, non-consecutive days, 14 non-consecutive days in 1 year.
Hmm.
Okay.
Yes.
So hello, and it's a tax deduction on the business side.
Mhm.
And then the income, which is, it would be considered rental income to you. The rental income to you is tax
That's it.
free. They don't tax.
Yes.
Okay. That's the Augusta strategy. The other thing is hiring your kids. You can hire your children in your business. Okay.
Right.
And because if you hire your kids in your business,
Mhm.
if they're under a certain age, I believe it's 16.
Yeah.
You have to check that. It's a 16, I believe it's 16. 16 or under, they aren't taxed. Their income is not taxed. So you can take that, you can, again, you pay your kids a salary from your business. It's a tax deduction, full tax deduction on the
Mhm.
business side. You're paying your children, okay? That money goes into an account for them tax free.
Yes.
And then that money, tax free money, can be used to whatever, I don't know,
Right.
go
Whatever.
to
Yeah.
college, build wealth, whatever you want to do. Okay. These are things that, I didn't know about. I didn't learn about. I wasn't taught, right?
Mhm.
Um, but they're so powerful because they help you to preserve wealth.
Yes.
And that's the key of the game.
Yeah, absolutely. So those are some great strategies, guys. If you haven't heard of it before, or if you're interested in them, be sure to hit Simone up and talk more about it, because especially if you want to keep all you can, you don't want to overpay them. People say, well, if you overpay them, they'll send you a check. Yeah, when they feel like it,
When
just
they
like
feel like it,
right, just like you get your money when they feel like it,
yes,
right?
so
The
they
money
can
that you
earn
have,
interest
for
on it.
those who do get money back, right?
Mhm.
So you want to eliminate that on the front end, but be sure to reach out to her and see how she can help you in your finances, whether you're a man or a woman. You don't have to be a woman, but you do have to be an entrepreneur. So what about people who are looking to become an entrepreneur? Will
Oh,
it even help them, also help them to get the
absolutely. Thank you
pre-planning?
for joining us.
Hey, Kitty. Help them help
Yeah.
them get the plan before they actually get started in their business.
Yeah,
But
yeah,
okay, well,
absolutely.
we're about to wrap this up. So do you have anything else you want to leave with the people? I mean, you've given so much great information already. Um,
Yeah, I would say that if you are at the beginning of your entrepreneurial journey, or you're thinking about it,
mhm.
that of course you want to do the due diligence, and you want to do the things that you need to do to get your business set up. But don't forget taking care of your mind and your mindset. That is It's that 80-20 rule, right? Where
Mhm.
they say 20% of something gives you 80% of your results.
Right.
That's mindset. So
Mhm.
if you give 20% of your time and your business time to fueling your mind with positivity and abundance, that's going to give you 80% of your results in business. So be sure that you are focusing on uplifting, positive, affirmative thoughts and
Mhm.
feelings inside and out about yourself, about business and money, and surround yourself with those same type of people who have the same type of positive, uplifted feeling and sense about themselves, business, and money.
Oh yeah, absolutely. And if you don't have the people around you, I mean, it's technology. You can meet people
Yeah,
anywhere.
yeah,
Hey,
you
we're
sure
not
do.
in the same state. I'm currently in Virginia. I'm on grandma duty for a month, so you know, I talk to people from all over the place. So I mean,
Right.
it's this easy. So a lot of times you don't have those people in your environment, but that doesn't mean you can't access them. Look for groups and other people like, Simone, who's walking the talk
Mhm.
basically. But thank you again. I appreciate you so much for joining us. Also,
Thank
if you
you.
need motivation, she has the Money Club for Women Entrepreneurs group where she
Please
does,
join us.
yeah, she does meditation, um, audio, meditation. What do you call it? I guess you would say video, audio. I
Yeah.
don't know,
Yeah,
but
that's
she drops those pretty much every day, right?
I
It's
do
like
them once
Monday.
Monday meditations once a week.
Okay, I
Yeah.
know. So, and she has some she's already, done. So you
Yeah,
can go back and even listen to those.
that's
But
right. I have a YouTube channel. That's where most of my meditation videos are. So I'm Simone Craig on YouTube.
okay, well, you didn't tell me that, and I could have put it.
That's okay. I didn't forget.
So check her out on YouTube also. But thank you so much, Simone, for joining. I appreciate you so much for stopping through. I'm going to put you in the green room for a minute, and I'll come
Okay.
right back with you. Okay.
Okay.
All right.
You.
Thank
Bye
you.
bye.
All right, guys. Thank you again for joining us on What's Your Story, where we share, empower, heal, and inspire. I, do hope you learn something new, something that will intrigue you. Be sure to check out my guest because she is a very valuable resource in the community. And that's what I do it for. I do it so that way, to expose you all to the different things that people are doing that could somehow help you, even if it's just inspiring you, or even if it's not something that you're interested in, somebody else may be, and you'll be able to pass that tidbit on to the next person because I'm all about doing something to make somebody else's life better, right? But anyway, thank you again for joining us on What's Your Story. Be sure to hit the like, share, comment, notifications, all of that good stuff. I can't even think about what you're supposed to be doing, but you know what y'all supposed to do on there. But be sure to do it. Thank you. We'll see you next Wednesday, and you have an awesome rest of your week. Take care.